For decades, using software has always meant one thing: clicking buttons, navigating menus, and filling out forms. We had to learn the interface. But that's all starting to change, and fast. We're moving from a world where we tell computers how to do something to one where we just tell them what we want. This is the huge shift from interface to intent, and we're going to break it all down. To really get a feel for how big this change is, let's just take a super common task: booking a hotel. We're going to compare the old, familiar way with this new, agentic approach. And believe me, the difference is pretty staggering. So, on one hand, you have the classic model we all know. The user has to poke around an interface to get something done. You have to know exactly where to click. But now we have this new paradigm. You just state your intent, what you want to do, and an AI agent figures out and orchestrates all the actions behind the scenes. The conversation itself becomes the interface. I mean, we've all been here, right? You open a website, you find the hotels tab, you type in the city, you fiddle with that little pop-up calendar, you click search, you scroll through a million options, you pick a room, then you got to fill out all your personal info, then your payment info. It's just such a long manual slog. Yep, when you count it all up, it's about 14 manual steps. And every single one of those steps requires you, the user, to know exactly what to do next. The entire burden of getting it done is on your shoulders. Now look at this, the exact same goal, but done in just 3 lines. You say what you want, the agent, which already knows what you like, comes back with the perfect option, and you just say, book it. Done. 14 tedious steps just became a simple 3-part conversation. Okay, so this feels a little bit like magic, right? But it's not. So how is this massive leap in simplicity and efficiency actually possible? What's the engine that's driving all of this? Well, the answer comes down to 5 fundamental capabilities that all work together. Let's call them the 5 powers of AI. These are really the building blocks that allow an agent to understand what you mean and then go and act on it for you. First up, we've got the power to see. And this is not just about recognizing a picture of a cat, it's about understanding visual information. An agent can literally look at a screenshot of a weird error message you got and figure out how to debug your code or pull data from a PDF invoice, just like a person would. Next is the power to hear. This is all about processing audio, understanding natural spoken language, and even picking up on the nuances, like your tone of voice. It's the reason you can just talk to a voice assistant instead of having to type everything out. The third power is to reason. This is the real brain of the operation. It's the ability to think through complex trade-offs, balancing the price, the location, and your personal tastes to find the absolute best hotel for you, and then making a smart decision based on all that context. Number 4 is the power to act, and this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where your intent becomes a reality. The agent can go out and use different software tools, call APIs, and actually perform the steps needed to get something done, like booking that hotel room. And finally, there's the power to remember. This is what makes the whole experience feel personal. The agent keeps track of context over time. It recalls your preferences, like that you always ask for a quiet room on a high floor, and it gets smarter based on your feedback. So, those are the 5 powers, but they don't really work in isolation. Their true strength, the real magic, comes from how they combine to orchestrate a complete workflow. So let's go back to our hotel booking example and see exactly how this all plays out. And here it is, the whole thing in motion. The agent will hear your request, it will remember your preferences, then it acts by searching different booking sites, sees the maps and the photos, and reasons to figure out the absolute best fit, before finally acting again to book the room and pop it on your calendar. It's this beautiful, seamless dance of all 5 powers working together. So this huge shift from interface to intent, it obviously changes how we use software. But it also completely flips the script on what it takes to build it. The skills that used to be the most important are now being joined or even replaced by a totally new set. In the interface era, it was all about UI/UX design, front-end frameworks, making buttons look good and easy to click. The whole game was about making the user's clicks as frictionless as possible. Well, now, in the intent era, the focus is on making the user's thoughts as frictionless as possible. The key skills are now things like modeling intent and orchestrating these complex agent workflows. And out of all these new skills, one stands out as, by far, the most critical. It isn't about designing a beautiful layout anymore. It's about being able to write crystal clear instructions that define what the user wants and how the agent should respond. So this is really the core of it. Our instructions have to change completely. Before, a spec was really simple. When a user clicks this button, do this specific action. That's just automation. It's a dumb script. But now it's way more sophisticated. When a user expresses a certain intent, no matter how they phrase it, the agent needs to understand it and act appropriately. That's true agency. It's about understanding a goal, not just following a script.
So you're probably asking yourself, okay, but why is all of this happening right now? And the simple answer is that we are entering a brand new phase in the evolution of AI itself.
You can think of AI evolving in stages. Phase 1 was predictive AI, which was great at looking at data and forecasting what might happen next. Phase 2 was generative AI, which can create all kinds of new content. And now we're entering Phase 3, agentic AI, which doesn't just predict or create, it actually takes autonomous action in the world to achieve goals.
I think this quote just nails it. The big breakthrough here is that AI is shifting from being a passive tool that just responds to our commands to being a proactive teammate that helps us orchestrate and achieve complex outcomes. Okay, so we've covered the what, the how, and the why. Now it's time to bring it all home and think about what this means for you and for the things you do every single day. So let's do a quick recap. The big idea is the massive shift from user interface to user intent. The engine making it all possible is the 5 powers: see, hear, reason, act, and remember. And in this new world, the single most valuable skill is being able to clearly specify what you want the agent to do. So, I want to leave you with a little thought exercise. Pick a task you do all the time. Maybe it's filling out expense reports or trying to schedule meetings. How would you design that as an agentic experience? What would you just say to get it all done? And just as important, think about what could go wrong. Where could an agent misunderstand you? Because thinking that through, that's the first step to building and designing in this incredible new world.